Hello, my name is Matthias and welcome to the FPL Scope and my team selection video for Game Week 18, where we're going to go through a lot of different things, but what I'm not going to go through is the manager of the week, or I should say managers of the week, because I discovered that I actually have two managers that scored the highest points total this game week with 102 points. So both Simon Thistlethwaite and someone named Can Team, I'm not sure if that's your real name, you both got 102 points and you will be featured in a separate managers of the week video instead. So yeah, that's my plan. But yeah, both those guys, 102 points, amazing. That is quite a lot more than I got in my own score for GW17. I got 75 points, and more annoyingly, I had 13 points on my bench in Nick Voltemata. So this is the second time in 3 game weeks that I've had a massive score on my bench. In Game Week 15, I also had Dewsbury Hall with his 15 or 16 pointer even against Nottingham Forest on my bench. Then last game week I actually got someone off the bench, but that was for 1 point, if I'm not mistaken. And then this week I didn't have a substitute to come in, or to come out for Voltemata to come in. So yeah, sad to leave out so many points on the bench. Also sad of the fact that I didn't do the transfers that I was supposed to do in time in Game Week 16, and that has affected my transfers in Game Week 17 as well. And now I've been a week too late, I think, on Saka. Like, I brought him in for Game Week 17 when he was actually someone that I wanted for Game Week 16, where he got 11 points. Of course, he gets 3 points now in Game Week 17. And he probably is just going to get one more chance in Game Week 18 to get a big score against Brighton at home before I probably sell him on. And the other transfer is also Munoz to Konate. Munoz is injured, had to bring in someone else. I had enough money for Van Dijk, but I figured I need some money in the bank in case I want to do some other transfers, which has become handy now. But also, there is now rumors that Konate is going to be out for Game Week 18. So, yeah, just a bunch of bad injury luck when it comes to the players that I wildcarded in Game Week 15. And I've sort of been on the back foot now, trying to catch up with everyone that wildcarded earlier in the season. And that is what I should have done myself. I should have wildcarded earlier and been on the front foot from the get-go. But yeah, lessons learned, I guess, for the next time there's AFCON transfers, if that ever happens again. But anyways, when it comes to the rest of Game Week 17, I got 11 points at least from Verbruggen in goal. That was a fantastic score for me. In defense in general, I did pretty well. 6 points from Timber, 6 points from O'Reilly, and 7 points from Anderson. Then in attack, I only had Haaland and his 32 points as my captain, but that didn't really help me because everyone captained him, and some even triple captained him. I think those of you guys who were looking to free hitting Game Week 6 and didn't do that in the end after all because it was a bad idea, you guys probably ended up doing a free hitting Game Week 13, which was a really high score for a free hit, and then triple captaining Game Week 17 to have the 32 pointer from Haaland become an even higher score than that, becoming 48 points for Haaland there. So if you had that situation for you, congrats. It's a little bit lucky, but of course that is the name of the game. I guess I sometimes gotten lucky this season as well, especially Game Week 2 when I actually captained Gyökeres and got 2 goals from him. That was also quite lucky, so it just happens with everyone basically. But yeah, that was basically my whole points tally from this game week. Of course, the Voltemata points on the bench really hurt me, and that's why I currently have a red arrow down to 150k overall. But yeah, onwards and upwards, I guess. I think my team is in decent shape, and I have some transfers, already used some transfers for Game Week 17 already that I'm going to get to. But we have a lot of other things to get to as well in this video. And first and foremost, we're going to go to the free hit selection that I had for you guys in Game Week 17. And this was a pretty important one for me because in the comment section leading up to Game Week 17, I had someone in the comments saying that I'm using my free hit this game week, and I really hope that I get some good advice for this upcoming game week. And I have to say, I did oblige and give him some good advice, because the team that I selected, that he also copied, which he responded to in the comments, got 95 points this game week. So I'm really happy with the free hit selection, my free hit score for this week. My free hit selections have become a lot better as the season has gone along, and my team selection for the regular team that I have, like the general team that I have, has gotten worse and worse. So now the free hits and overall rank, like the free hit overall rank, which is compiled of all the free hit scores from Game Week 1 through Game Week 17 that I've done for you guys in my videos this season, that would have been an overall rank of 550k with 1,028 points so far, which is still a little bit below my current overall rank, which is without the unlimited transfers, of course, just the regular transfers that you get in the real game, which is currently my overall rank of 150k. So the ranks there are closer and closer. It used to be like I was 40k overall in my overall rank and then like 2 million in my free hit overall rank, but now it's getting closer and closer, which is not the best for me, honestly, with my own team, because I wish I had a better rank myself, but I'm at least happy that I am able to give you guys some good advice on the free hits, hopefully, especially this past game week with someone in the comments specifically asking me for help to choose the best possible free hit team. And I think I did deliver quite well in that regard. Verbruggen in goal here also. I also went with the double up in the Brighton defense, but Van Hecke didn't play. He did keep a clean sheet, or he would have probably kept a clean sheet if he did play, but he was subbed off. But at least Van den Berg was there on the bench to come in as the first defensive sub. And he got 7 points, which is also really nice. Could have been an even higher score. Senesi lost his clean sheet super late, and that would have been some nice bonus points as well, I think. It would have been 3 bonus points, clean sheet, and he almost scored as well. So that could have been a monster score for Senesi, but ended up with 4 points only from him. But I think it's still a good pick. Like, it was just really unlucky that he didn't get more points in this game. O'Reilly with 6 points, really good. The midfield, not as good in some regards, but Rodgers with 15 points, him against Man United at home. I, at least on the free hit selection, identified him as a good player to target. I wish I had done the same for my own team, because he got a massive score of 15 points, which I really would have loved to have in my own team. Semenyo with 10 points, also someone that I would have had if I had done the original transfers that I was supposed to do in Game Week 16. But it sort of went a different way with my own team. So yeah, 10 points from him is at least nice. I didn't know that he was going to be good for this game week, like a lot of people did, because he was playing at home to Burnley, which is always a good fixture for an attacking player. 10 points from him. In attack also, hold on with 32 points as the captain. A shame that Thiago was the starter ahead of Ekitike, who got 9 points. Could have been even more points for this team, but anyways, I think 95 points is really, really good, and really happy with the selections here in general. Also in the defense, I have Anderson on the bench with 7 points. Even my alternative picks in terms of Watkins got an assist, 5 points. That's at least a thumbs up for a return. And Timber also with a clean sheet with 6 points. That's also a return. So I think in general, my free hit suggestion was pretty good for Game Week 17, and I hope more of you guys actually followed my advice this time, because I think my free hit teams are looking better and better as the season has come along, like I said previously now. So hopefully that can carry on into the next Game Week 18, because I have, once again, another free hit suggestion for you guys, as always in my team selection videos. So subscribe for more if you want to have a free hit suggestion for every single game week. That's what I've done all of last season and all of this season as well. And I accumulate the points and see how well I do in terms of selecting free hit teams. I think that's a pretty valuable thing to have. And now finally my free hit rank is actually getting me to a place where I can honestly say that my free hit teams are probably a pretty good indication of what will be the best team going forward into the next game week. Hopefully, but yeah, you'll be the judge. I'll try to convince you, and you can make your own decision, whether that is to use your free hit or whether that is to select the players that I have selected in my free hit suggestion. That is up to you, but I'm just giving you my thoughts and my best ideas about what is the best team to come for the next upcoming game week, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So yeah, let's go into the Game Week 18 draft. I'll just go through every single player in the draft currently. So in goal, I've gone with a bit of a budget option because I didn't have enough money for Pickford, who was my original first choice goalkeeper. I've gone for Lucas Perry from Leeds. I think Leeds have been a lot better lately, and Sunderland haven't really been the best going forward. Didn't score against Brighton last game, and now they've lost a lot of players to African Cup of Nations, so it seems like they're going to struggle a bit to score goals. So I think Leeds actually could be a good option this week, and Perry in goal has been pretty good for them this season, so he can get a clean sheet there, potentially away at the Stadium of Light. So that makes it a bit more difficult, but I don't have too much money to work with, and I think he's a decent option at least to go with. In defense, I'm going with Virgil van Dijk. I think the Wolves at home fixture is something to target. I was really close to going with a double up with Van Dijk and Frimpong, because I think Frimpong has such high upside in this game, but I'm just a little bit too worried about the potential minutes for Frimpong, and I don't want to waste a Liverpool spot for this fantastic game. So I've gone with a couple other Liverpool assets instead. But I think a defender, at least one defender, is a really good option for this game week, because Wolves typically don't score. And Van Dijk is set to play. He's always fit to play. He is a goal threat and DEFCON threat and all that stuff. It's just really nice to have. So he's in defense. Calafiori against Brighton at home. I think he's also a pretty good option. I think he's a better option than Timber this game week, because Timber might be able, or might have to play in as a centre back, because both Mosquera and Hinkapie seem to be out with injuries alongside Gabriel, so it might just be Timber and Saliba in the centre-back positions, and if that's the case, I think Calafiori at the full-back position is going to be a better option than Timber, but we'll see what they do there. They don't really have a backup right-back now either, because of the injury to Ben White, so who knows really where Timber's going to play in that backline, but I think Calafiori is going to play for sure, and also he's going to be pretty offensively minded, and he has, I think, underperformed in terms of points this season. He's been really close to goals sometimes this season, and I think he could get a goal in one of these games. I think Brighton at home, not the best fixture, but they didn't score against Sunderland last game week, so against the best defense in the league, I think they might not be able to score again, Brighton, even though they are a pretty good team. Michael Keane against Burnley away, and there is a debate now. Should you buy Tarkowski? Should you buy Keane? What should you do? Because Jared Branthwaite is coming back pretty soon, so Keane is not going to be in the starting lineup for long. And that's a given, by the way. Keane is going to go out of the starting lineup and Branthwaite is going to come into the starting lineup once Branthwaite is fit enough to play. But for now, Keane is still the first choice because Branthwaite is still not completely back, and Keane is still the best value prospect, and even the best on a free hit. Even if you had unlimited money, he would be better than Tarkowski because he has pretty similar DEFCON potential, and he has more of a goal threat to Keane. So I think he is a better option. So he's a good defensive option. Grealish as well against Burnley away. I think this is a pretty nice time to get Grealish. He's going to play the most minutes for the Everton attack. He is back fit 100%. He was back last game week as well, but now he's like fully cleared before the game week starts as well. And Burnley away is a really nice fixture to target with Grealish and Everton, I think. Florian Wirtz is the Liverpool midfielder that I'm going with here. Rather than going with Frimpong, I'm going with Wirtz. I think he could really benefit from a lot of people missing from Liverpool and him having to take more responsibilities. I think he's a really good player and he hasn't really been able to show that so far. Finally got his first assist in the Premier League last time around, so I think he can build on that and get some more points offensively. I'm going with Phil Foden again. He did blank last game week, but I think he's going to be back to his best. Nottingham Forest is a team that I expect Manchester City to beat quite handedly, and Foden is still a vital part in that offense, so I think Foden is a really good option. And I go with Saka, kind of like a hopeful choice of Saka because I sort of need him to return on investment in terms of me buying him this past game week. He needs to perform well this game week before I most likely sell him myself in game week 19. So hopefully he gets a big score, but maybe it's more wishful thinking than anything else because I could go with someone like Matthias Cunha instead in midfield. That could be a better option. But I think Saka also at home to Brighton, it is a game you expect Arsenal to win. You expect Saka to be amongst the goals if they do get a goal, so he has a good chance. And we've seen from Saka as well, he has that potential of getting an assist and still getting like bonus points and DEFCON points and all that stuff. We've seen that in the past in this season. So yeah, I think high upside for Saka. I think he probably is slightly more likely to take the next penalty for Arsenal over Gyökeres. I think the fact that Gyökeres took it last time was just to get him going, to get his confidence back. He's been getting a lot of criticism from Gyökeres. I think a lot of it is like not that warranted either. I think he's a much better striker than people make him out to be. People almost say that he's not even at like a Premier League striker level. And I would gladly take him at West Ham if I got the chance as a West Ham fan, basically. Speaking of West Ham, I have actually selected a West Ham forward in this free hit suggestion as well, and that is Jared Bowen at home to Fulham. I think West Ham need to start winning some games now because relegation is a bit of a threat now for West Ham, or quite a huge threat. And there are a couple of winnable games now, starting with Fulham at home, or West Ham really need to take charge and score some goals and get some points. And I think Bowen could be the man on a mission to do that for West Ham. He is typically the best West Ham player in FPL. He's actually been pretty good the last few game weeks as well in FPL and this season in general. I think he's like top 3 or top 4 in terms of points for forwards this season. So Bowen is a really good pick, I think, playing against Fulham at home. And we'll get more into him as well in my team selection for game week 18 for my own team. Speaking of players that I will talk about in my own team, we have Hugo Ekitike, who is the main man this game week because Alexander Isak is out for a long time now with injury. He broke his leg, like part of his leg he broke. So he's going to be out for a long while, and that means Ekitike is going to be the starting forward for Liverpool. And in that position, he's been really good this season. He's going to get more and more 90-minute matches this season as well. He's typically been subbed off after 70 minutes for Isak, but now he's going to be able to play 90 minutes and be a consistent, really good forward for Liverpool, and they have the fantastic fixtures to back it up now as well. So he is the main priority. I said that in the Walker draft as well. He's my second most important player, I think, currently to have in FPL behind Haaland, who I'll get to now next as well. But Ekitike is just a really good value prospect now. Being in good form, having great fixtures, and having a lot of playing time, that is all you want. And playing for a good team as well. A team that's looking better and better as the season has gone along. Or at least after that really good start that they had to the season, they've finally hit a bit of a stride again, Liverpool. So yeah, Ekitike is a really good option this game week, even a really good captaincy option. I wouldn't be too opposed to going with him as captain. I've gone with the more safe option as Haaland is still unstoppable, it seems like. He scores 2 goals every game almost. So I am still going Haaland as captain against Nottingham Forest away, but I do think it is a viable strategy to go with Ekitike if you feel like going for a differential, if you're trying to make up some space in terms of your rank, for example, and you feel a bit risky. I think Ekitike at home to Wolves is, of course, a really good option. But I think Haaland is just a really safe option. You expect him to get at least 1 goal. So Ekitike really has the work cut out for him to be an even higher goal scorer this game week. But I think he's a good option for what it's worth. On my bench, I have just really cheap players, really, to afford a really expensive team. So I have Dubravka, the cheapest goalkeeper that plays, apart from John Victor, who also plays now for Nottingham Forest, at least for now. We'll see what happens when Sels is finally fully fit. He was on the bench last time around, and John Victor was the starting goalkeeper. Let's see if that continues. But they also face Man City this game week, so Dubravka is just a better backup goalkeeper for this game week at least. But we'll see how it affects the actual long-term plans if John Victor is still the starting goalkeeper after Sels is finally 100% fully fit for a game. But yeah, also on the bench we have Mukiele for Sunderland against Leeds. I think Leeds is actually a pretty tough fixture currently because they've been really good in the past few game weeks. They have actually like the third highest expected goals the last 6 game weeks, which is kind of amazing. Didn't expect that from Leeds this season, and Calvert-Lewin has been scoring left, right, and center. So it's not the best fixture, but it is at least at home at the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland have been really good defensively. And I think they're going to be focused on just keeping the clean sheet because they don't really have too much going forward for them. So yeah, Mukiele could be a decent pick, but he's just a bench option for now. Klein and Miley as well, just super cheap options that at least play. Klein has played 60 plus minutes the last 3 games with Munoz out on the sidelines injured. I think that's going to be the same case here as well. He might get 60 minutes and then get subbed off. And ideally, if you're starting Klein or if you have him as a potential guy in your lineup, you want him to play the 60 minutes and then get subbed off before they lose the clean sheet potentially. That is a potential benefit with someone getting subbed off after 60 minutes. But of course, the drawback is the fact that you have less chances of getting assists and goals and less chances of DEFCON points with only 60 or 70-ish minutes to play. So yeah, but DEFCON probably not a real thing for Klein even with 90 minutes. So I think it's probably better for him to be subbed off early, at least if it is after the 60th hour mark, basically. Luis Miley, just like a bench option who's really cheap and plays most likely because he's been really good the last few game weeks and has played quite a bit. But speaking of the forwards, I just went through Haaland, Ekitike, and Bowen. I think all of them are really, really good picks this game week. But I do think Igor Thiago, for a lot of people selling him, me included, as we'll get to pretty soon, it could be a massive mistake for this game week because Bournemouth are conceding a lot of chances to strikers this season. Bournemouth are not good defensively, especially away from home this season. So Igor Thiago could be the best striker of them all in this game week. But I've gone with Haaland, Ekitike, Bowen, both in this team and in my own personal team. I'll get into why I've done that for my own team. And I was tempted to go with Thiago rather than Bowen for this free hit draft as well, but I sort of had to stick with this because I've gone with the transfers that I'd gone with. I'll expand it pretty soon. Cunha already mentioned as a good option in midfield. I think Newcastle at home is a good fixture in general because Newcastle haven't been the best away from home. And I think Man United could still be good, but they are without some key players, which could possibly affect Cunha. I would not be too surprised to see Newcastle just completely smash Man United and beat them like 3 or 4-0 in this game. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that, but I could also see like a high-scoring game with both Cunha and Newcastle players scoring a lot of goals. In the fans, also mentioned Frimpong as like a really good option. If I knew he was going to play 60 plus minutes in this game, I would definitely have him in the squad because he has so much attacking potential. He played right wing rather than right back last time around when he came on. Soboslai kept playing right back, so I think Frimpong is, like I thought before the start of the season, I thought he was going to be the guy to play right wing in the absence of Salah, and that could still be the case. So we'll see what happens. I'm still not 100% sure he's going to start because he's just back from injuries. But if he starts this game, I think I'm going to be including him in the Game Week 19 free hit draft when they play Leeds, because that's also a really good fixture for Frimpong. So yeah, he's a really good alternative if you feel a bit risky and you're hopeful that he's going to play, because Bradley is out, Gomez is out, Im Konate might be out, so I don't think they have too many options when it comes to players to play with. So Frimpong could easily start, but of course with all those players being out, there's also more likelihood of them conceding, so that is potentially fool's gold with Frimpong. But yeah, that is the free team. Now let's go into my current plans for Game 18 myself. Let's first address like the changes that I've done, because I've done 3 transfers already. A lot of early transfers this time of year, basically, because of all the AFCON transfers. Everyone has 5 free transfers, so got 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. So there's been a lot of transfer activity, a lot of movements in terms of price and stuff, and I've had to move quickly to be able to afford everyone that I wanted to afford, basically, and that's what happened in this instance. So first and foremost, it was a bit of a rage transfer with Voltemada being on the bench with 13 points, and Voltemada just being a terrible pick for me in Game Week 15 wildcard anyways. Started him and got 2 points against Burnley. Started him and he conceded or scored an own goal in the next game week. And then the third game week I benched him and he gets 13 points. So yeah, kind of a rage transfer. I also want to get Bowen. Like I was pretty set on getting Bowen as a West Ham fan. I just want to have something to root for now. I think Bowen is a really good, really nice differential pick. And especially now with everyone getting Ekitike in as like a main option to get into your team. I think Bowen is not going to be that highly selected, so I think he's going to be a good option. But I did that transfer pretty early, maybe a bit too early, but Voltemade was on his way down in price, Bowen was on his way up in price, so I did the transfer early for that reason. Then, of course, Bruno Fernandes gets injured. I didn't have enough money in the bank to do Voltemade to Ekitike, so I figured I would just do Bowen instead for this game week. And then Fernandes gets injured, Isak gets injured, everything like that happens, and the whole landscape changes. So first and foremost, I did Fernandes to Rodgers. Don't feel too good about bringing in Rodgers for the Chelsea and Arsenal fixtures away from home now, game week 18 and 19. But I feel like he's the best long-term pick there, and I wouldn't be able to afford Ekitike if I did buy someone like Cunha, for example, who's a bit more expensive than Rodgers. So I went for Rodgers in the end for Fernandes. With Fernandes' injury, that opens up some more cash, and that gave me enough money to do Thiago to Ekitike, which, again, is not necessarily a good move this game week. I think a lot of people will do that because Ekitike just is a fantastic pick. But honestly, if I was able to go back in time and do all these transfers over again, I probably would just do, of course, with the injury news to Fernandes, I would just do Fernandes to Rodgers and Voltemade to Ekitike instead. But I didn't have the Fernandes news. I thought I would have to sell Saka to get Ekitike into the team, so I figured Bowen would be a better option instead. But things just changed with the injuries and everything that happened for the rest of the game week. So again, I think the lesson is just don't do early transfers because you're going to regret it probably and wish you would have done otherwise afterwards. But after a couple game weeks with missed transfer deadlines because of me being at work and stuff, I just figured let's just do it early. So yeah, it is a mental game in both regards. FPL, like you have to be clear mentally and make like smart decisions, and I haven't been able to do that lately, and that is affecting my play as well. I think that's making me make or do worse decisions basically. So yeah, but I still think it could end up working out well. I'm just a bit fearful of Thiago scoring a lot of points. Maybe even Voltemade could even score higher than Bowen and Ekitike put together. It's hard to know, but I think Bowen and Ekitike are two players that I really want to have going forward, at least for the long term. So yeah, I'm just going with that. Voltemade as well. Like the other reason that I sold him is because Wissa is now in the team and he's going to take away minutes from Voltemade, so I feel like he's an even worse option. But of course, he scored twice against Chelsea to make me think twice about that. But I think Bowen is just a preferable player, and I just don't like Voltemade for what he's done to my team this season. So yeah, quite happy to get rid of him, honestly. But yeah, anyways, that leaves me with the current team that I have right now, right in front of you. The other issue that I have, the other transfer that I need to potentially do is Konate out for someone else. Because he might be out injured. I'm still waiting for news on that, but I think actually I have enough money in the bank to do Konate to Tarkowski, which would be potentially what I do. I'm actually going to double check that now as I record this video, because Konate is 5.4. I have 5.5, or I have 0.1 in the bank, and that leaves me just enough money to go from Konate to Tarkowski. So I might do that transfer as my fourth and final transfer. I would have used all my AFCON transfer already at that point, or I have actually done that because I did gain a transfer, of course, between game week 17 and 18 as well. And I burnt a transfer between game week 16 and 17 because I forgot the deadline, and that's a completely different story. But I might do that. Like, that's the final move that I might do, Konate to Tarkowski, if Konate is not ready to play, because I don't really want to play Minte against Arsenal away. I don't think that's a good fixture to target. Minte has been pretty bad lately, and I think Tarkowski is a good long-term pick anyways. And Konate just, yeah, especially if he's injured now, long-term, like that is just another terrible transfer for me and another injury after walking in game 15. So yeah, a bit down on my luck, and a bit of it is like self-inflicted, of course, missing deadlines and making rash decisions after that. Like, it's so much easier to play FPL when you're doing well than when you're doing badly. Like, it's so much more panic-inducing, like when you're struggling and you want to just claw your way back, but it might end up hurting you as well. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you do transfers. Ideally, you want to save your transfers for later in the week, but I think this season is just a bit special with all the AFCON transfers and stuff. Like, there's a lot of things to think about, and also just all the issues that I've had with my team. I feel like the action bias is just creeping into my psyche, and I want to do stuff, basically, especially with all the transfers and everyone else doing a lot of things. It is affecting me in different ways, I guess. So yeah. But when it comes to the rest of the team, Konate is obviously the big sore point in this team. I also ideally would not start Anderson either against West Ham, since I have Bowen playing against him, but I'm at least hedging my bets there a little bit. If Bowen doesn't manage to score, I do have Anderson who could get a clean sheet in that game. Of course, I'm not hoping for that as a West Ham fan. I hope West Ham beat them regardless of Bowen scores or not, but ideally, I get a lot of points from Bowen in that game, but we'll see what happens there. When it comes to my goalkeeper, I've started Dubravka against Everton at home rather than Verbruggen against Arsenal away. I don't think Dubravka will keep a clean sheet, but I think he has a higher likelihood than Verbruggen, who also plays against Timber and Saka, who I want to score in this game week, of course. The City boys, O'Reilly, Foden, and Haaland, quite happy with them in my starting lineup. And of course, Ekitike and Bowen, I like long-term and short-term. Rodgers is more like a long-term pick. Like Chelsea away is not an ideal fixture, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see Aston Villa and Rodgers score goals in that game as well, because Aston Villa are just in fantastic form. The same can be said for Rodgers, and it's not a bad, like it's not a good fixture, of course, against Chelsea away, but it's not impossible for a team like Aston Villa, who are a really good team. I think Rodgers could get goals in that game, but we'll see what happens. I at least like him for the long term, even though he's been pretty bad for me in FPL this season as compared to last season. So yeah, I think that's my team and that's my plans. Please let me know if you have any tips or tricks that I can do for my team. Is there something better that I can do than Tchaikovsky? Is he probably like not the best like asset because he's a bit too expensive and I might want to get someone else later? I don't know. I think that is like a decent transfer to do Konate to Tchaikovsky if Konate is indeed injured, which is the rumors online. He still isn't even yellow flagged even in the game as I'm recording this on Thursday night, 25th. But we'll see what happens there. Speaking of 25th, I know a lot of you guys celebrate Christmas on the 25th. A lot of my friends in the UK do that, but here in Norway, where I'm from, we celebrate on the 24th. So yeah, don't worry about me being busy during Christmas and avoiding my family and making videos instead, because yeah, I was with my family yesterday and had a great time and all that stuff. So don't worry about me making this video. And I'm also going to make the other video, the Manager of the Week video, at home, like at my parents' place. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to bring my equipment, my mic, my ring light, and my camera and all that stuff, and try to record a video there. And I'll see if that works out well. The acoustics in the room and the lighting and all that stuff, if that works well. I might do that more for videos later, especially the Monday video, or potentially even like a deadline stream at some point could be in play with me just having more time and space to use my equipment basically. And I also want to get like a new PC and stuff. I didn't wish for that for Christmas. I got something else. But yeah, I might invest in that to make streaming an easier thing potentially in the future as well, because I do have some more plans for this channel, hopefully to grow the channel, but most importantly to do that would be a higher score. I had a really good start to the season. I'm just really annoyed that I haven't been able to keep it up. The first 10 game weeks were much better than the next 7 so far, but I might still turn it around. We'll see what happens, and I'm quite content with my team at least for this upcoming game week, but it could go completely the wrong way with Voltemata and Thiago just outscoring my new signings. We'll see what happens, but yeah, at least I gave you my reasoning for my team in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some nice information with your own team, but if there's still something you wonder about, then please let me know in the comment section. If you have any queries about your team, any questions you want answered, or any other advice or criticisms or anything you want to have, please let me know in the comment section. That's what I'd like to interact with. Like the video if you'd liked the video, and subscribe if you like to see more. And that is basically it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.